yeah, challenges come and go, and you don't get lost in the story, which was so different from before. We used to like, oh, get so attached, and it was like so attached to the outcome. But what changes is like you're not attached to the outcome anymore. You're just fully committed. So the challenge comes and you surf the wave, right? You actually use it and you even have fun in the challenge. We sometimes have this like perfect and
oh look, the world's exploding. How cool. What does this mean?
Amazing, right? Like after everything's happening and that's happening out there to this person in the world, and the river is so high we can't even cross right now, and it's all together at the same time, and we just at the end get to even laugh. Like we're not that caught up, right? Because that's part of the work to do is like release the stress we're carrying, the nervous system being so contracted. Then any challenge that comes, it's like, oh my God, it's so dramatic, right? That dramatic comes out. Instead, once you reset your nervous system and you're in that space, it's like, oh, okay, great, interesting. So what's the solution? Like you're wired for success. You get wired for success to just like, and of course the challenge comes and it gets hard and it gets heavy and you feel it. But right, we don't get lost in that, how it used to be before. And now the challenges are 10x or what they were before.
Right. I was about to say that, like, there's definitely a myth out there, like, oh, when someone gets here, they don't have any challenges anymore. Or like you said, Gina, it's easy for them, right? Or, oh, like once I have this amount of money, then I won't have to worry about money anymore. No, you have to worry about money more because it's more important and you're playing a bigger game. And if you screw it up, you're going to create a bigger mess, right? So actually you need to be more concerning and intentional and aware around this, right? And so it's not necessarily that the challenges and the problems go away. Actually, sometimes they do legitimately actually get bigger and present in a way where they create a larger impact if they show up. But it's, I believe anyway, it's your capacity to shift and move through them. It's your capacity to take a step back and get curious and flip the story and not get lost in the story, like JuanPa's saying, right? It's your capacity to navigate through at a higher frequency. It's not that they just don't happen. And I think that's why people look at quote unquote successful people or someone that's like in a layer that they're striving to be through and they're like, oh, it's so easy for them. No, they still had a huge thing. They just navigated it in a more efficient way, right?
Yeah.
What are some of the tools that you have to navigate challenges that come along? Good one.
Step number 1, stop. Whatever you're doing, stop. Step number 2, take a step back, right? And get curious and actually observe everything, not from a place of being attached in it or in the story or in the emotion or in the problem, because you're going to add to it if you're in it for sure, right? If you can take a step back, you can actually see what's going on. And then step number 3 is pick your tool, right? Which could be cleaning something up, having a conscious conversation, clearing resistance out of your body, right? So many tools in that way.
So many tools. And what we use, of course, it's mindset, it's breath, it's quantum flow, anything, right? Any technology that we have available. Sometimes it's going for a walk. Sometimes you're so stuck in like your little word, like get out of your room, get out of your house, get out of that Wi-Fi, go to nature, sit down, walk barefoot, connect to water somehow, connect to a tree. I don't know, whatever you have, a little flower somewhere, like doesn't matter, but just kind of get yourself out of it. Go to the movies sometimes, read a book. It doesn't matter, right? Like it depends. That's when they ask us like, oh, what is your exact strategy in your spiritual practice? And it's like the beauty, it's our practice is guided by discipline, not discipline, because we've both been super disciplined in our lives. It's all been like, right, since we're kids, like always, Regan with music and me with athletics, and it was like fully devoted 4 hours a day to be the best and give the best, and right, so many years until we were both done with it. It's like this just doesn't work anymore, and there's actually this big resistance. So how do you go beyond that resistance and actually find the discipline? And that's the place of what would be my bliss right now? You know what? I just want to dance. They just put some music and all of a sudden we're dancing in the morning and celebrating, and we have a huge day that we could be like, oh my God, now And we're just like, if nothing is happening, like if we're in vacations, right? 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then boom, 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 one after the other until 7, 8 p.m., like full flow, right? But it's finding what works for in the moment, and then finding between the meetings and between the podcast and whatever. Okay, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, breath, meditation, stop, go to nature, like whatever works. But it's always different. And that's the beauty of it. Like really finding what's your passion, what works for you. And not getting a mind on, it has to be an hour and a half of yoga. It has to be a 1 hour meditation, because that's where we procrastinate. It doesn't have to be that. Sometimes 5 minutes really gets you back to that state. That's where you want to be. It's not about having to get your feet behind your head or having to, because you have that in your goals. Okay, maybe that's okay. Keep going, but is that the most important goal, or is it like be in the flow state where you can be the best version of you, right? So yeah, I think it's the beauty of it. It's an art. It's a science and it's an art, and you navigate between both.